Hello, everybody, and welcome to Nightfall in Amsterdam. Ah, got it right the first time. Um, in the house of Eric Ulrichsen, he sits in his own personal room. He can hear the sounds of his own kinfolk, the other people, um, the sounds of his pack. And he sits there on the bed, staring at various pictures, various things that he keeps in there, trinkets, items that he has from his time and Bloodfist and from his own life. But the most closest thing to him is the necklace of his late father. As he sits there staring at the more ashen color, just contemplates and contemplates the various things, the debts, the betrayals, and the inevitable future that he himself will probably have to face in his life, and it's an odd feeling. So that is where Eric is at the moment, probably pulling the big long braid out of where it normally rests along one of his shoulders back, so it hangs long and loose, and just sitting there staring at the necklace in very deep thought.
He only has a couple minutes to get proper lost in thought before the girls finish their talking, and soon enough, at his door, there is the tippy tap tap tap.
Yes,
And of course, naturally, that's close enough. The door pops open and the head pokes in. Hey,
hello.
you still thinking about nothing?
Yes,
It's an awful lot of nothing.
it is.
A pause, a scrunch of the brows, a glance behind her and a glance in the room. The assessment. Will he bite me if I come in? Nope. And she finally slides the rest of the way through the door and just tucks it shut behind her. So what kind of nothing?
Just thinking.
It's a pretty serious kind of nothing, I can tell.
I suppose it is.
You're longer in the face than usual. She finally plops down next to him.
These times require deep thinking. Sometimes it is easier to think before what comes next.
Which part of what comes next? There's a lot of stuff coming next. There's a whole lot of next. Got nothing
And
but next left.
there will be blood next, and warfare.
Oh, yeah?
And sometimes it is better to think before, well, it puts you in the right frame of mind for what's coming.
I suppose as long as it puts you in the right frame of mind. For some people, it puts them in the wrong one. Spend the whole time dreading it.
I have no fear of combat.
Oh, I know. But you're worried about something.
It's not worry.
Well, fine, then you're awful fixated on something.
They talk of it as if it's something very casual, as if they say the right noble solution and it will make the problem go away.
Finally kind of gives her hair a thoughtful little ruffle. Nothing self-conscious, just kind of like, that little rub 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 at the back of her head. Well, I suppose if you haven't had to deal with it before, it's real easy to look at it like that.
And yet they turn to me and give me the same look as if I'm some sort of abhorrent thing.
She kind of shrugs. They're babies.
I know.
They don't know what they're
I,
looking at.
I know that. It is just... I know what I will do. And they will still look at me the same way. Not that I fear judgment. Not that I fear the only thing I fear judgment from is Gaia and Great Father Wolf. And that is not judgment I receive from him.
And she finally kind of kicks up her feet so that she can, like, do that thing where you nudge one shoe off with one foot and then use it to nudge the second shoe off. Kind of bumps it into his side, leaning a bit so she can tuck the feet up under her. Well, look at it this way. It's kind of sweet, really, that they don't know any better. You're only like that once. And when it's gone, it's gone.
There is no sweetness. You can't afford it.
She just shrugs again. You're only innocent once.
Yes.
And only have innocent ideals once. And
You
then
just
once you see
nod
it and
and
you're in the middle of it, well, it's gone then.
he just nods and just stares off vacantly. Yes.
And Runa definitely is. I don't know about Jenny yet. But
she is a Shadow Lord in every sense of the word.
maybe.
She has her ideals, right? But eventually she will need to learn. It is the inborn nature of a pack.
I suppose so.
For now, I invited her into my home and let her have her haughtiness. But if she pushes me,
Oh, she'll figure it out.
she will. I did not appreciate being mocked for what I choose if I take a mate in a future time.
It was all good-natured teasing. I'd expect the same.
Especially in regard to tantrums of temper. For everyone else, it's a joke. For me, it's a very cruel reality.
There's a pause. I know she
My,
didn't mean nothing, though. Yeah?
did I?
No, I said, she didn't mean nothing by it, though. She was just
Did
trying to
I?
make light.
You just look over very seriously. Did I?
I hope so.
I did not beat her into the ground, although the temptation was there.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm sure she would too if she knew.
Like I said, to most people, it is a joke. For me, it is not.
Finally offers a faint smile and a little tilt of the head. You know, I know better than anyone that sometimes jokes are inappropriate, but then again, there's so much shit we have to do, and so much shit we have to look at and know it's real. Sometimes it's easiest to just joke about it, so you don't have to think so hard about it. There's times when it's not the time to do it, yeah, but we gotta make light now and again, or we'd just be dour all the time.
But is there a difference between making light and poking in an area blindly?
I suppose the difference is in how well you know each other and what mood you're in and how they intended. I don't think she meant to make you feel bad.
No, but she is perfectly willing to bolster at my training of Runa, which I will remind her very clearly. She is not one of us. She's
No,
not, she's not a good offender.
no, she's not. And Runa's already chosen where she's going, so I don't see any reason to go trying to teach other ways. That's the way she wants. It's the way she'll learn.
Like I said, I was calm.
You're new to each other.
I do not trust Shadow Lords very well, so I played nice.
I don't either, but I do trust her.
She'll have to earn it from me.
Oh, I'm not saying that I'm immediately giving her all my in. I'm just taking it all with a grain of salt. Spirit wouldn't have lumped us together if it wasn't a good idea, would he?
Spirits, no. But then again, everyone has their own tensions and histories, and it is up to the pack to learn to identify with each other.
Well, it is.
A spirit can throw sticks together and they might break. Or
I
they might
suppose
form
so.
into a... There is no point in saying the spirit put us here, so we must cooperate. We must learn to cooperate.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm not saying we're going to cooperate all off the bat. I'm just saying there must be something behind it. Otherwise, you
There
wouldn't have thought we
is,
could have done it.
and that is the reason she is not out of the door. That is the reasons I am putting my impulsiveness of my auspice aside.
Was this what you were caught up in?
Not just that. It is a minor thing.
So, nudges a little closer. Dunk. Been playing with that necklace a lot?
I have.
What is it?
It's my father's.
Oh. I saw you. I saw you. The others don't know, I don't think. I don't really get it. But I saw you. More important, I heard you.
Oh?
Hmm?
And what did you hear?
You told me about what happened to your dad. I saw things hitting notes. I saw it coming up. It was little bits and
The
pieces.
fact that she thinks that Mother Loon would not be disgusted at dishonorable actions, he just shakes his head. When they slay people in their beds, maim them with her weapons.
If you think about it, though, it's like. She kind of pauses and takes a breath. It's like expecting, I don't know, the greatest, largest part of Fenris himself to know every little thing that happens. Or weigh it.
That's not good enough.
Luna's got a lot of children. She's got to watch the tides.
But children are suffering.
They are. A lot of us are suffering. Not even because of each other. Can you imagine how much of it she hears?
He just shakes his head. Then why not aid it instead of... He just takes a breath, like a calm breath. Like, I'm calm. I'm calm.
And she may well. Spirits of spirits. There's no telling.
Everyone is so ready to doubt all the time.
Not doubting. I'm just not putting all my eggs in one basket.
It's not about that.
What's it about?
Approaching something with the ideal of failure, that it will not work. Well, then it would never work to begin with.
I don't think we're approaching with the idea that it's going to fail. Just acceptance of the idea that it might not work and we need other plans. Doesn't mean it will fail. But you can't.
Just shakes his head. This theurging is just fickle.
It is?
Everyone rushes to seek it, and when I am merely more concerned with doing what I need to do. I do not care at the end anymore.
Well, that's an awful lot to say.
Everyone rushes for the spiritual option. Everyone does. I'm tired of relying on things that end up failing, or end up changing parameters because it feels like it. I'd rather put my faith in my steel, my claws, my conviction.
Well, that's well and good. But if we make plans that account for all of us and what we can do, doesn't that make more sense than making plans for only one of us?
It does. It is just tiring to hear constant pecking. Constant. Just... Everyone is so eager to look for an alternative method.
Well, I mean, of course, Runa is. Like I said, you're only innocent once. She doesn't know better.
It has nothing to do with innocence.
It does, if you think about it. She thinks there's a better way because in all of her movies and her books and her stories, there's always some magical better way that works out so that you don't have to go to bloody war. That's just not real. And she doesn't know that yet. She hasn't seen it yet. It's not her fault she doesn't know. She'll know soon enough. She'll see it. It doesn't mean she doesn't believe in you. It's just she wants to believe there's some secret other way of doing it. Some secret better way. Something that just magically works out in the end.
It does not work out in the end. Not unless you apply blood, honor, and sacrifice to it.
That's the nation for you. You don't make change without blood.
It just seems everyone here is so ready to lie down.
I know.
You come to build a shrine, and he just folds his fist, and you can see him. He just seems, if anything, frustrated.
I know it looks that way. You got your eyes open. You can see it. A lot of them have their eyes shut still. And it's hard not to get mad at them for not seeing the facts. And seeing the way it is. I believe in a little bit of luck, but I've seen how the world is. I've seen how it works. They just don't know. They haven't been out there. They haven't seen what you've seen. They haven't seen what I've seen. They haven't had their eyes opened. Just try not to hold it against them.
I will judge them for their inactions. Kinfolk are being butchered, and yet they sit here squabbling. I'm out there trying to plan raids to take the fight back, and they want to waste time. He adds that growl in his voice as well. It's not like he's getting ready to throttle Grace. It's just, you know what I mean. Big Ahroun is frustrated.
All right. But here's the thing. I know it's not quite the same. But is it a waste of time to send a scout ahead to make sure you know what you're walking into?
No.
All right. They're not trying to hold you back. Not these two, anyway. They're just trying to plan other things to make sure you can see as much as you can see and know as much as you can know. And if possible, maybe cut them a little bit at the ankle so that you have an easier time of it. Maybe try and make sure more of the kin are alive by the time we get there. But they're not trying to hold you back. You know, it's an awful lot of talk to say a simple thing. But it's just a simple thing. I bet you she's already out there now, talking to crows.
I hope
because I can see what I can see, but they can see more. And well, as soon as you tell me where we're going, what we're hitting, I clue you I'm going to see as much as I can.
I'm waiting off the wormful for that. Again, I'm frustrated. It just seems that they are so willing not to. I know we're not. The sept here has no proper ties to the name. I understand that. But the fact that it is more seeming like a burden to be patrolling the sept is wrong. Maybe they should have. He just stands up. Maybe that is why the Magnusons run rampant through this place.
Think they got a lot of faith in their totem to keep it secret?
There is no faith in totems. There is only faith in our actions. The totem guides the hand. The hand must learn to do it itself. They seem to like reminding me of that. Especially it cracks his neck. The kinfolk trying to tell me what my faith is. Shakes his head.
She kind of, presses the lips into a line on that one.
I am sorry, I do not get angered. Well, I do, but...
Oh yeah, but that one set even me off. Did you see me? I practically had a fucking meltdown. Fucking saying a bunch of shit that didn't mean nothing. All that lecturing, all that down talk, to say something that wasn't even right. Oh, we didn't used to make shrines. Yeah, we did. Might have called it an altar, might have called it a cairn, might have called it whatever you like, but it's still a fucking shrine.
The next time he will talk to me in such a manner, I will put him in his place. I do not care. There is a difference between coming to someone seeking guidance and slapping them.
Well, there's an awful lot of difference between guiding and lecturing and patronizing. That wasn't guidance. That was just a fucking kinfolk telling us a lot of shit that had nothing to do with what we were asking.
Besides, I already made my point clear to him. People followed me. He was not expecting it.
Of course they did.
I am sorry, I should not. Just twitches a bit.
Well, it shouldn't be yourself. Shouldn't have an honest to God opinion.
Just during their talk, I just kept thinking of how my mother is.
You write to her?
Of course.
Well, that's something.
But she will only say so much.
Of course.
She is too proud of a woman to admit how she is. She's always been that way.
Still? It's gotta mean a lot to her knowing you care, that you're still writing, that you're still trying. You're keeping a hand stretched out.
If anything, she tells me to not.
Oh, that's alright, Shame. That sounds like an uphill battle. I don't think she's gonna win it.
I understand why. In order to do what I must do, I must lock it out.
And I'm sure when the time comes you will. And you'll be all focused on what you gotta do. But till then, we're waiting. Waiting on the worm foe. Netting out plans.
I know.
Turning them over and over. You got all the time in the world. And then when the orders come, she shrugs. So we buckle in.
It is just fresh, that is all. She sits back down and just stares off.
She finally reaches up when he sits back down. Just sets the hand on his shoulder.
Looks over, like you can tell, like, oh, physical contact. Oh, do you know what I mean?
It's just a hand. When he looks over, she just kind of quirks him a, kind of that sad little half smile you do. Very sympathetic.
I am fine.
Just remember, you're not by yourself anymore.
It is different. I cannot let them see me. You know.
I get you. That's why I didn't tell him the story. Same way I told you. I just told him the bits that mattered.
I am worried that they will interfere. That they will come to me with mercy.
And if they try to step in the way, I'll back them down.
It was when one of them, I don't know who it was, but they suggested marrying into them.
I think it was more to make a point of example. I don't think they expected you to do it.
It is more of the fact that there is a part of me that feels guilty for rejecting that.
Why should you?
For am I not like him for not wanting blood? There's a part of me that wishes that maybe I should be better than that. That a true son of Fenrir would show mercy to a conquered foe.
Suppose it depends on how it shakes out. The people who are involved are going to pay what they're going to pay.
And then there is another part of me that hates them. All of them. All of them.
There's no knowing till the time comes. No point in trying to fuss about which way it's going to go till it happens.
It is not that.
It doesn't make you bad to hate him. Anyone like that anyone who'd been through what you've been through would hate him. I suppose the difference comes when it's done. When the people who did what they did paid what they're going to pay. When all that's left are the kinfolk, or the Guru had no choice. Guru who got roped in.
He shakes his head. They will receive the same fate as our masters. The kinfolk, no.
All right. Then when all that's left is the kinfolk. Suppose where that line of being noble or being honorable comes in is what happens after that.
But am I not the same as him if I butcher everyone?
I suppose it depends. There's some of them, or probably like Runa, still got their eyes shut. Don't know any better than what they've been told. Never seen it. There's some who know exactly what they were doing. Like the one who killed your pa. And those ones, they gotta pay. But learning who you are.
But if I show them mercy, then am I not weak?
She kind of tilts her head thoughtfully. Would it be weak of you to spare people and show them better if they didn't know better in the first place? To have people who learn from you and follow you?
But then again, are they telling the truth?
That's what a Philodox is for. That's what I'm for. Hell, that's what spirits are for, and that's what your fucking fists are for. They'll either see there's a better way in what they've been doing. They'll see there's more in what they've been told. Or they won't. And so long as you treat the kinfolk the way they deserve to be treated, don't think anyone could hold it against you. I wouldn't expect you to marry into the family, but then again, say something real wild happens. Say you do have a chance to rescue those kinfolk. And say you see that they're people, one by one, instead of just a name. And some of you do mesh up, and you do have ideals that are similar. Well, that's for then. But we won't know till it happens. And sitting here and worrying which way you'll go. If you'll be too weak, if you'll be too brutal. You'll do what's right. And that'll all depend on us, all sorts of things we can't guess ahead of time.
It is not weak of me to worry.
No. It's human of you.
Twitches of that.
We're part human too. If you weren't thinking, I'd be more worried. I bet you they don't sit back and wonder if they've been too brutal.
My father told me evil does not waste time on thinking about how evil it was.
I don't think he was fucking right. The fact that you worry, the fact that you step back and question and make sure you're going down the right path, it's a good sign. She smiles faintly. Means you're doing my job for me, but I think I could get along with that.
You're doing your job right now.
Oh, I like to think so.
It is not just a rag about it, it needs to question.
The important thing is making sure you're looking at the whole picture, isn't it?
In a way, yes.
And you are. You're already looking at a bigger picture than most people would. There's a lot of Ahrouns like to keep it real simple in their heads. Makes it easier. I like that you're thinking about it. I like that you worry about it. Means you have a fucking heart.
I suppose it does.
Oh, it definitely does. I have it on good authority. I know just what to look for when it's seen if people have a heart. Kind of grins.
Do you?
I do?
What's that?
Oh, it's all sorts of little things. But isn't that what we do best? Remind people to have a fucking heart. And to fill it when they can. Because tomorrow you might be dead and gone.
I suppose.
There's no sense in holding off. There's no sense in denying yourself things you might not ever get. Having a heart's important. She finally
Just
reaches
nods.
over, pokes him right in the chest. Reaches around to do it, like boop. Having a heart's why people follow you.
You really think so?
I think so, yeah. That's why I follow you.
Because I have a heart.
Well, yeah. Marching off to war's all well and good. But you thought about it. You have a reason for it. You're doing something because you know it's right. She leans in a little bit. And you're not fucking crazy. Which is definitely a bonus around here.
He just leans back, and you will stand by while I execute one of the Magnusons in the old ways.
I'll hold Runa back too if I have to.
If Runa interferes...
Oh, she won't get the chance. She's still a baby. And it may be hard for her to open her fucking eyes. It's gonna be. It's hard for all of us. Some of us are just lucky or unlucky enough to have them opened real early. What if she doesn't understand by then? Take her out the room.
It will not be out the room. This execution will be in front of everyone. It is a test.
Oh, I know. But still, take her to the back and hold her and make sure she understands. Because you'll be doing what you need to do. Of course.
Will you? Will you?
Well, Do you doubt me?
No, it is merely that I am curious. It is a different thing to see a man put through endurance, or whoever, put to the limit where they must test in their very soul to see if it is worthy. It is different to see that level of pain being reached.
Not saying I've seen it before. Have you ever heard of the threefold death?
Nods.
She nods back. We all have our ways of doing things.
You
Understand?
do. But I'm wondering what you will do when you see it,
Don't
or
know.
what you will believe.
Is it any worse than watching the ways a Philodox might have to kill a man to test his soul?
No, just I am not afraid of doing it. But I need those in my head to. There will be a moment where I shall look into his eye. There will always be that moment. And what I would wish to have is the people who have chosen to follow me to be there when I look into his eyes. He will not see them, but I will.
Even if I have to cradle Vuna back, even if I have to make sure she understands. She taps the side of her head. Be there. You don't have conviction born to nothing, or just the want for violence. You know what you're doing. You know what these people did. At least you're giving them a test. At least you're giving them a chance. It's a lot more than most people would do after what they done to you.
It is the honorable way, the old way. If then it is truly put down to his own actions and deeds if he is worthy. For anyone could say his actions were necessary, a brutal part of reality. This is his one chance. And if he does, he will die a good death to another warrior. If he doesn't, then he is the very coward that he is.
Like I said, at least you're giving him a chance to earn it. It's a lot better than most of us would do. It's a lot better than I think even I'd do. Press the same kind of point.
His sons will die the same way. They will not get the same right, but they will be killed. As I said, I will show no mercy to the Guru. And the kinfolk may live so they can spread the line, but a line that is different, purer, built on the right foundation. But none of them walk away. Can you really live with that?
Suppose I won't know till it happens, will I?
That does not fill me with confidence.
It's a bit of a smile. I'm just not pretending I can see what's coming. What happens when I say yes, but in the time it takes us to get there, they have a fresh changed child? Say they have a cub among them. It's still Guru.
The cub is different.
She nods.
The cub will be made to watch, so he will learn. I never forget.
As much as I want to think that I'd ask the questions, I would try to make you stop and think. I don't know that I will. It depends on who they are. It depends on how they are. But then again, I can't say I'd be as kind if the same thing were to happen to me. I don't think I'd wait.
It's not about being kind.
Giving them a chance. I know it's honorable more than kind. But I tell you, if one of them, any of them, came after my brothers and sisters, I wouldn't give them that chance.
And there is the paradox, isn't it? If it is a cub, do I put it down?
I suppose it depends.
Does it?
Oh, it does.
You just answered the question yourself.
Cub is still learning. Has the potential to become something better.
But would you forgive someone who butchered your entire family? Better or no? Misguided or no?
There's that moment where, you see the lips kind of purse out a little bit as she runs the tongue over her teeth. You want the honest answer?
Just nods his head.
Wouldn't give him the chance to make me second guess myself.
Now then you understand what I will be doing.
It's kind of a wry little smile. Kind of a bitter one, really. I suppose the difference between you and me is you're giving it proper thought. I don't think I would. I'd just do it before I lost my conviction. Have it done.
Conviction is earned through doubt and pushing beyond it.
Oh, you're not wrong. Your conviction's is stronger than mine is.
I am a Fenrir.
You are?
And I am an Orcson.
You're that too?
Just look over and give her like an eyebrow raise.
She just gives a firm nod, like, that is a fact that you just said. Mm-hmm.
You were leading somewhere with this?
Oh, no, I don't have a point of comparison. She grins. I ain't from some high family. Seen him once or twice, but nah, I'm not from all of that. But I imagine the pressure's enormous.
There's nothing to do with pressure.
What's it like then?
Come here. Gesture with his hand.
Kind of quirks her brow.
I will show you. Come here.
And yeah, she looks a little confused. She's already sitting like right next to him, so she'll just kind of like follow whatever little guiding gestures he makes to.
Stands her up, so she's like standing in front of him essentially, because he's much bigger than she is.
Yep. So she looks up.
But he doesn't stand though; he sits. So they're kind of
Oh.
like eye level, more or less. You know what I mean? But she
Mhm.
stands in front of him, takes both of her hands and folds them out. Now look into my eyes,
You sure?
Pro- properly.
Well, the lips work for a second because I mean it's one of those things. When she was a kid, yeah, you looked people in the eyes when they were talking to you, but there has been such painstaking time and effort put into unlearning that. It takes her a second. All right, and yeah, after another very brief pause, she does. I imagine the
You see
lashes
the big,
actually flutter once or twice before she really is able to
Mhm.
focus in. It takes her a second.
And you see the real steely, cold. You know what I mean? He's very deep eyes, and they stare at you with this kind of iceness to him. To be what it is like to be an Ulrichson is to stare in the face of a blizzard and know the biting cold touches your skin each time, and to keep walking, for you will eventually pass through it. And when you pass through it, you must be ready, for another one is there to take its place. And you can choose to kneel in front of it or keep walking. But you must never look away or kneel.
Ooh, I was muted. So yeah, she kind of stumbles over it because it's really odd to finally look someone in the eyes properly. I suppose no amount of kneeling makes it any less cold, does it?
You are consumed by it if you kneel.
Yeah, well, to the contrary, her eyes are just a very, very warm brown. It's very, very reminiscent of, those patches of sunlight. Not sickeningly sweet, but just that touch of warm. So it's a very distinct, very stark difference as they're staring.
But my mother is from, similar to air, the Sigurdsson line, which is known as the Children of Fire. That is, when you face the cold, you light a torch and begin to move and scream and yell and feel like a bright star burning in the sky. For your howls will feel like thunderous holes.
Oh,
That is why I think, part of the Sigurdsson blood, you are born to lead.
sounds like.
Do reach and, with his very callous, like big hands, touches the side of her face very gently, as if he's like touching a porcelain doll almost.
I mean, he'll probably get a blink for it, but I mean, she doesn't break the stare because it's funny. She hasn't looked someone in the eyes for so long. She's getting kind of not like lost in it majestically and romantically. No, it's just, all those little flecks and shapes and colors in a person's eyes. And his are very, very stark blue, so she's just studying it.
My mother has very similar eyes to yours, except hers are more green than brown, like looking into a warm furnace.
Oh,
I have my father's eyes.
suppose you do. Makes sense for them to be Leaders, I suppose, if you were lost in a blizzard, someone holding a torch, hollering,
There's a,
giving you a place to go.
there's a saying among the different families. The Oryxons will walk the blizzard, the Trimbinsons will endure it, and the Sigurdsons will yell to guide your way. That is some of the old families.
Oh. What does enduring mean, though, if it's not walking?
There's a difference between conquering and enduring. There's a difference between walking to face it than staying to endure it.
Oh.
Trimbinsons are known to endure and build based on that endurance, based on that what they are. Oryxons, we face it head on and endure, and not endure it in the sense of we change it by walking.
Oh.
If the enemy is in through the blizzard, we will go through it and face them. For the cold means nothing to us.
Jesus.
What?
She finally blinks a few times, gives her head a bit of a shake.
Oh, his stare is powerful. You know what I mean? It's probably due to that merit. It's power. You know what I mean? You can feel it residing off him. That big, thick, get pure breed. Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to end up breaking eye contact first. It's just going to happen. And this is probably about time enough. She sat there and looked for a good minute and kind of, done herself proud. But it's still one of those things where finally she kind of has to blink a few times and give her head a shake. Like, clear it for even a second before she can, even if she does reestablish, it's just like, oh, nope, that is enough of that in back-to-back drawn-out moments. What?
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
They say the Oryxon stare is something to fear. Gives her a little wry smile.
I feel like it could be very cold if you wanted it to be.
It can be.
That's alright. Even blue. Sometimes it's a bit of warmth. When you want it to be.
Precisely.
Finally reaches out and, like, just takes his cheeks for a second, grinning. Suppose you could be all ice and snow, but at least for now, just the sky.
That is for the battlefield.
Well, good. Remind me not to look you in the eye then.
Those who do usually they see it at their end.
Well, I definitely don't want to look at it.
Just nod. Are you sure you're all right?
Yeah, it's just. Again, she has to kind of, like, break it for a second. Her head a little bit of a shake, clear it. It's been a long time.
Just nods.
After all those years of learning not to do a thing. It's so weird doing it again, even if it used to be perfectly normal. Finally, she lets go his cheeks and finally Kind of ruffles some of the loose hair on top of his head. It's funny how the nation changes things like that. It's funny how all those things we see make it completely different than it used to be.
I suppose for you it would be. This gives her a little smile.
Phew. It is. Just very matter of factly with a bit of a nod, like, ugh. I've got gusto. Ugh. It is. It's very strange. Used to be it was rude not to look a person in the eyes.
Yes, I can imagine.
Ugh.
Just nods awkwardly. Like, yep.
Finally, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna sit back down now. Ugh.
You don't have to sit down if you're uncomfortable.
What?
You look nervous.
It's harder to be standing. In fact, she'll sit and give a little bit of a squirm and then flop back. Kind of crossways, so she goes like across behind his back and is, if he turns to look, her head's like just barely visible on the other side of him.
I am not used to intimacy. Maybe it's that.
Oh, maybe. I mean, there's some things I'm really used to. Other things I'm not.
Just nods. Like I said, I'm just being what I am.
You are. She probably like reaches up from behind him and like just grabs the back of his shirt and gives a tug. Because the way she's splayed out behind him, you can pretty much flop on top of her.
He kind of doesn't because he's like, I will crush you. He gives that look like, I will crush you. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, come on. Don't be a baby.
It is easier if you lean into me.
I'll scooch back.
It is easier. And I would feel less uncomfortable.
Fine. Like, pulls herself up.
Just lets her flop on top of him like the big bear that he is.
Yeah. If he doesn't get the hint, she'll even like nudge him over, like dunk, and then flop across his chest.
As I said, I'm just not used to intimacy.
She'll flick a grin towards him, like tipping the head a bit. You don't feel cuddly for someone who's not used to intimacy?
You're warm.
I am? You're warmer. Men are like space heaters.
Like I said, it is just does the uncomfortable shift. You know what I mean? It's the impression she's getting is I'm in a room. Most people stay away from me. Do you know what I mean?
Yep, she stays flopped, like with her head propped on top of him. Probably even kind of dangling a little bit off the other side. Flopped all awkward catty corner. Just to make it weird.
So seeing someone who is so willing to...
I mean, you've already punched me. What's the worst you're gonna do?
It is just something I am not used to. I understand you children of Stag are very, I don't mean to sound rude when I say this.
She flicks a smile over, just waiting for it.
You are able to be more intimate.
Oh, yeah.
Not that I'm insinuating that you are breaking them. You know what I mean? It gives that kind of like, that kind of awkward. Like,
reaches up while he's like mid-sentence and gives him a pat on the cheek, like, oh, don't ruin it now. You could just say it.
It's not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with that, but it's not something that a person could twist.
Nope.
It is just
God help them if they tried. Oof. The
I,
henpecking
I,
I'd give him.
I realize that. It is just something I am not accustomed to.
No, they're so stiff. Splays her arms back so that she can, like, tuck her hands behind her head. Still on top of him. Zero fucks.
So I find myself reciprocating, but it is an odd feeling.
No, it's called being comfortable. It's the craziest thing. Read about it in a book once. Again,
They're
smiling
like,
teasingly.
just shakes his head, gives a big bear grumble. You can probably feel it rising from his chest almost.
She does. He rumbles and she, like, feels it in her back. Like, bleh. Oh, don't you go grumpy bear on me.
It was more I was trying to explain. That is all.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't want you getting the wrong idea if I reciprocate. That is all I worry.
No?
I value it. I am just not familiar with it.
That's alright. I'll be friendly enough for both of us.
And it's not that I will not be friendly. It gives it the awkward, like, "Oh, I'm not very good at this."
Well, then what are you worried about?
That people would take it the wrong way. That you would take it the wrong way.
Well, at the risk of being outright scandalous. As long as you're not trying to put your bits in my pieces, I think we're pretty good.
No, just gives the very, like, you know what I mean? It is such the most, like,
Grin.
the huffing and puff. They're like, oh, like,
You
it's like
know,
you
we have a habit of, you
Eric
pointed
40
out.
Eric 404 has just completely ceased to function at this point. It looks like he's about to have a nervous breakdown almost.
Luke reaches over to poke the end of his nose. You point out that we wear blue paint all the time. Didn't even point out the part where we run into battle stark-ass naked.
But that is battle. I
You
know
know,
one of my cousins likes to tear off his armor and scream quite proudly with his, everything out there. Tears
she
the
starts
terrifies
snickering.
terrifies the enemy outright.
Well, that's the whole idea. You're crazy
Yes.
enough to run into
No, no,
fucking warriors buck-ass naked.
he would be in armor. He would take it off as he gets more bloody. Piece by piece.
Well, let me clue you, it's a lot easier to get used to being naked rounded about than it is to do it on the battlefield outright. Admittedly, it's you could cheat.
It's just like I said, it is an area that I'm not unknown to. It is just new.
Oh, don't you worry. Ain't gonna get the wrong idea.
As I said, you are my beta and my pack mate, and yes,
Be awful awkward if we're out in the field doing whatever have you, and we can't even pile together for warmth because you're all worried about giving the wrong impression.
it
A
is
bit of a
more.
smile.
It is more that I am trying to respect you.
No, don't you worry. If I'm ever feeling disrespected, you'll know.
Just gives the awkward, like, okay, you know what I mean? I don't know if I did the right thing or not, but okay. Type of nod, like,
Gives him a pat on the chest. It's all right. Like you said, tiny angry women. If I don't like something, you'll know I don't like it.
all right. I was just told to be blunt about these things.
It's probably better to be blunt. I can only imagine what would happen if you started beating around the bush.
You would make fun of me.
Maybe just a little. Just a touch.
You would make fun of me.
Just a scotch. Like picks up the fingers, with the little gap between the thumb and the forefinger. Just a touch. But do it out of love. Big old grin.
I'm sure you do.
Better to learn to get used to me poking fun than anyone else.
If it was anyone else, I would have been far more aggressive.
Oh, aggressive?
Yes.
Oh, I'm just going to take your word for it. I'm not going to tempt fate. You're quite comfy right now.
Moving closer. It's just when I sleep sometimes. Let us just say the dreams are real and very vivid.
I know the feeling. And yeah, she finally gives herself a bit of a wiggle, and instead of laying like across him like a total weirdo, oh yeah, finally squirms down and actually hunkers down next to him.
I hope you do not take this as weakness.
We're Guru. We're supposed to have packs. We're supposed to rely on each other just a little. Otherwise, we'd go fucking insane.
Well, this shall be our between us. I do not want the others to see me like this.
Okay.
It is nothing that would compromise my leadership. It is just.
No, but it's private for you.
It was only a short time ago.
Sorry.
I will not cry. You do not need to worry.
What's wrong with crying?
There is no room for it. Not now.
When's the time to cry?
When it is done.
We'll be there then too.
I was just merely asking. It is nice not to think about it. Instead, focus on something that's warm and the beating of a heart.
Probably gets a little bit softer in the expression. It's alright. Don't mind.
Like I said, you're soft. It is. Yeah.
A wry little smile. Yeah, she'll even like shift a little bit more to huddle him in so he can set his head on her chest, because otherwise, like, height wise, she'd be coming up to about his, even curled in. She'd still be like tucked under his arm. So yeah,
Yeah.
she wiggles up a little
I
more
mean,
just
she
so he
tucks under
can
his arm
curl
and
around and set his head on her chest if he wants.
it's not even that. What she finds adorable is she tucks up under his arm and she just find him as he closes his eyes. She just absentmindedly just runs his hands through her hair, like the thumb kind of knocks around the hair, if you get me. It's more the fact that she's like right there and it's almost like she's literally like a teddy bear that he can just feel.
Aww. Yeah, she'll nest up with him.
Yeah, do you want to end it there? But
I do! So thank you, players, for playing, and watchers for watching. And we will see you next time on Nightfall in Amsterdam, the werewolf venue.